Regular viewers of C-SPAN or House and Senate floor speeches are familiar with the charts members of Congress use to make their point. They've been using so-called floor charts since at least the early 1900s, long before we could see them on TV. And now William Gray, founder and curator of floorcharts.com, is trying to track and preserve them.
So I think it's absolutely critical that you know there is only 2 cents worth of sugar in that candy bar. And did you know...
What makes for an effective chart in your view?
In my view, an effective chart has one message that I can read from a TV screen, whether that's a cute animal with a giant phrase like teapots or tea museums, and has a message tied with the lawmaker to say, I'm trying to tell you one thing very clearly.
The message is clear.
With an image that's going to get your attention.
But then we find out, actually, he's a child of one of the protesters that's protesting the Trump administration.
Hundreds of people are currently living in shelters. Hundreds of animals from homes and ranches are, in a sense, volcano refugees.
This is a very good example of if you are literally flipping through the channels and you see this, you're going to stop, which is what most of my friends did when they saw this on C-SPAN.
We know what manufacturing is. We know what manufacturing isn't.
The irony is that this came out of an actual serious economic debate where George W. Bush's team was asking if you actually put a hamburger together under our tax laws, is that manufacturing or not? And Sherrod Brown was saying, no, this cannot be the same thing as making a car. But he put a poster to it because it let him do a political ding and also make a nice visual image against the president whom he didn't agree with on the issue. So this is 9 charts individually, actually. So this is my showing how Congress decided to try to modernize itself and to lean into what I call the millennial social media crowd, since most of these gentlemen do not by nature use social media probably on a daily basis.
They may not even know what a hashtag really does.
They may not know what a hashtag does. However, their staff do, and their constituency certainly do.
And this is a superhero cartoon.
This is Tom Coburn. He's printing a poster to point out government waste. We all know it, we all laugh at it, but again, it's a comic book.
And the caption is, oh, that explains the difference in our wages.
I will gladly secure the border next Tuesday for legalization today.
So this is Senator Ted Cruz. He's from Texas. He ran on immigration when he first got to Congress. He often does these speeches where he may use green eggs and ham.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them. Sam, I am.
He may use a cartoon. He will use almost anything to kind of make more human these big, complicated debates that you hear in Congress. And immigration, we all know, big, huge issue. For him, legalization of the border is the #1 point, and a cartoon gets it across perfectly. This is an example of not only a creative message, it's probably the most unique one we've seen that a member actually thought enough to say, I remember that and I want to do it again. But also everyone associates this with him in D.C. now.
It's a little strange. He's using a picture of himself to make a point about...
Rob Woodall has a very good sense of humor, I feel, and this to me was one where he just admitted, I'm going to make the same hand motion on the same network with the same chart and just lean into the fact that I've been saying this same message for years and no one's paying attention.
The American people want to trust their president. The American people want to believe in their president. I want to trust my president. I want to believe in my president.
So this is President Trump standing inside of the White House with a list of regulations that is literally taller than he is.
The point of this was, it was supposed to look complicated.
This is a tongue-in-cheek about, I'm going to show you just how complicated Washington really is by making something overly complicated. The same point of overcomplication. This is Phil Gingrey, congressman from Georgia. This was also during President Obama's administration, and this is looking at how complicated the healthcare system would be if Congress actually passed healthcare reform, which they eventually ended up doing. And so we saw this a lot. And it's just, again, it's Congress pointing out that things are too complicated for them to actually explain.
Would you say this is an effective chart?
I would say this is very effective in that anybody who's a watcher of Congress will immediately recognize what this is, if not by the title, but because every speech is the same one. Healthcare is too complicated, and this is the image they want you to associate with it. This is what we call a human easel chart, which is when a human being actually stand as a job and hold a chart for a lawmaker or the president, as we saw. And this was during the immigration debate. This is going to make the evening news. It's going to make it on Jimmy Kimmel, you know, or one of the comedy shows.
Aha.
And this is Senator Jeff Flake.
There was about a period of 10 years where earmarks really hit the high point.
Do cute images tend to get more attention from ordinary viewers?
Cute animals across the internet always play better. Republicans and Democrats both use them.
How many charts have been used, as best as you can tell?
We're at tens of thousands.
The power to tax is the power to destroy.
If they were beginning to be used in early 1900s, and I've got more than 6,000 tracking from just the 90s to today, and I haven't even gotten all of them, then we know for a fact these have been used for more than a century, that we're in the tens of thousands, and taxpayers paid for all of them.
With that, I yield the floor.
There's an official government office where members can go for graphic design, where they actually print the charts. The last 115th Congress used well over 1,000 charts, Grace says, averaging about $100 a piece. So over 2 years in one Congress, we're talking over $100,000.